So as you can see, Rengar is one ability away from having full ferocity. I'm half health, but I also have red buff, and going into this champ select, I chose exhaust specifically in the event that I had the opportunity of going 1v1 on Rengar early game, because exhaust will eliminate how much damage he does to me. And Rengar I don't consider to be a serious counter against Nocturne, just because of the CC that I have and the more damage output that I have early game. But as you'll see, how much exhaust is going to help me in this fight here in just a second. So as you can see, Thresh managed to land a hook on Caitlyn. Now, depending on who the bot team is that is on the enemy team, this is going to be completely situational as far as who you're engaging and how you're going to CC the ADC or the support. If it happens to be someone who is very CC heavy, you're obviously going to want to go against the ADC first and try to bait out the enemy CC before you engage. But in this instance, because that Thresh has the handle on the fight, we're going to go in on the ADC first. So I want to take a minute to elaborate on how to properly gank going into top lane in Bronze. Because this game for this low elo is very much team deathmatch, and for some of us who are trying to get out of it, it becomes a struggle because everyone just kind of goes in and goes ham. So unfortunately, what you're going to need to do as a jungler is that you need to bait your teammate and get him to engage on the fight first with whoever the enemy top lane is, and whoever it happens to be, you want to get them to use their full rotation on their burst or whatever their skill rotation is going to be, so that way you're eliminating their ability to leave the lane and securing the kill. So running certain items and running certain summoner spells will eliminate them being able to get away even when they burn flash. So even if you don't get the kill and you get them to burn flash, it's still a win for your top lane, and they have to back anyway. And very quickly, this is going to be making the decision of either taking the kill or giving the assist. Because that I have an Akali playing top lane in this match, Akali is very much like a Katarina, where if they get some kills, they can snowball really well towards mid to late game. So as you'll see, after I went on ahead and made the engage, my terror went off. I backed away after Akali went in on her ulti to get the kill to secure it. Not because that I don't want the kill, but again, understanding the team comp, Akali is very bursty. She is an assassin, and she's very in your face against Karma, so having one or two kills advantage against her is just going to give her that leverage to allow her to continue to stay in her lane and win her lane, while me being the jungler can focus on the rest of the map and help the rest of the team do what they need to do and get that done successfully. So when is it okay to trade in Bronze? Unfortunately, this ELO is a very big team deathmatch. So when you go in to do trades, people will say, oh, you fed, even if you didn't successfully kill the other enemy. In this situation, Caitlyn went on ahead and got vision on Draven, but you'll notice that when the sweep happened that there was no vision put on me. So this is going to allow me to go ahead and get Caitlyn successfully, to where I can go ahead and do an equal trade that you will soon see, where Rengar will come up behind me and he will come kill me. So it's important for the ADC to stay alive on our team, obviously, and get rid of their damage, so that way our team can continue to push. You'll see that here in just a second. So here you'll find that we're 21 minutes into the match right now, and I'm ulting in onto Karma. Akali's a little bit out of position, so at this point I'm going to go in ham already, and I'm going to pick up the kill rather than taking the assist, only because that she's out of position, and Akali acknowledges it, and she comes in to picks up the assist and doesn't try to take the kill. You won't find this very often in Bronze, but that's a lot of respect for a top player. So we just picked up the kill on Karma. Akali's backing, and now because that Karma's down, Akali's backing, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take the farm known as taxing, and we're going to go ahead and take this tower, only because that there's no one to defend it. It's low hit points, and if I was on the enemy team, it's a lost tower. So when to split push in Bronze. As a jungler, you're going to want to do this almost all the time. Pay attention to how the enemy team collectively moves on the map. Even if they're in mid lane and you're on top lane, make sure that you have vision in the river. Make sure you have vision in the tri-bush after you leave destroying that first tower. Then when you move into the second tower, make sure that you drop a ward between blue and wolves, so that way you can see anyone coming through mid lane, or even coming up from top from river and coming into lane, because you're already going to have vision from top lane with your minion waves coming through, and you've got a ward in tri-bush, and now you've got vision coming up from the bottom, and if anybody comes up from the bottom, you have your ass completely covered. And this is something that a lot of people fail to do in Bronze. Don't expect your team to help you with vision, because everyone's got trinkets. No one uses it. I can't tell you how many times I get upset at ADCs who don't use their trinket. It drives me nuts. But when to push, you'll see here pretty soon that I penalize the enemy team with not the first tower, but the second tower over as well, because there's no pressure and the enemy team is running around doing their own thing somewhere else on the map. Also too, when you decide to play a champ and you want to be that champ who split pushes lanes, pay attention to your build. When I play jungle, I specifically build against one enemy champ. Usually within the 6th minute, you'll know who on the enemy team is kind of the person who can and has the ability to carry. Forget about the kind of champ it is, or if it's somebody that faker plays all the time. I don't care if you're the best Yasuo. If Yasuo happens to be in mid and Yasuo happens to be beating your mid laner, it's your job to help your mid laner shut them down super early, so that way it's a little bit balanced out, because Yasuo will fall off endgame if there's focus on him. But again, it's Bronze, it's team deathmatch. At that point, it's completely up to you guys, and just make sure that you're not clustered up for his Q. So always, always, always split push. So this is another perfect example of split pushing. I know that the enemy team is in mid lane right now. I know that the video is going to be kind of crap and you guys won't be able to really see it very well. But I know that the enemy team is in mid lane and my team is also in mid lane. So because that there's no one to really around to contest me, I'm going to go ahead and take this tower as well. Coming into taking the tower, you'll notice that people will start disappearing from mid lane, and right now I have a Rengar ult on me, which means that he's nearby, so I know that he's coming, and I don't know why he's even attempting to try to come get me 1v1, because I shut him down every single time. And here with using Bork, I almost got him, and I could have had him if it wasn't for Caitlyn coming in and sniping me. But with that said, because that the enemy team came down to bot lane, my team is back in mid lane, and they're penalizing the enemy team by taking mid lane towers once again. So it's just understanding simple mechanics. Pay attention to where your team is positioned, and pay attention to where the enemy team is positioned. Obviously, Rengar at that point was clearly out of position, and randomly enough, having an Urgot on the map is just, you know, capitalized on that kill. And with that kill there, that's just having vision from my creeps and having my ulti available. Because that we're coming into endgame and Rengar is pretty boosted right now, He's kind of given up, but Rengar has been the champion for their team that had the ability to carry, and just being able to shut him down has been pretty successful. Um, but so I want to go over real quick about everything that I kind of just talked about. This is not a guide to how to counter jungle. This is not a guide to mastering, Nocturne. I consider myself to be a one-trick Nocturne. I've been playing him since, I don't know, season 3, season 4, and we're coming into season 7. And because with all the changes, between the items in the jungle, it's definitely changed my game style, because I have always ganked at level 1. And not being able to do it very successfully because of how the camps are set up now within the jungle for us, makes it a little bit more difficult. But I want to encourage those who are serious about trying to get out of bronze, because anyone who's played in bronze will tell you that it's practically impossible to get out of bronze. And I'm trying to find a way for the community of being able to do just that. And so with this new build that I've been doing for preseason 7, with my match history from my win to loss ratio has scaled drastically with wins. Only because that you have these guys who watch these streams, and they have these champs that they play all the time, or here's their masteries, or here's their runes. And it's a big misconception between challenger to bronze, because people get discouraged very quickly on not being as successful as somebody that they watch on YouTube, or somebody that they watch on Twitch. So what I want to leave you with is being encouraged with yourself on picking a few champions and learning how to play them. We lose quite a bit of games. We also have really good games. But just because one game doesn't work out, don't give up. So with that said, enjoy this quadra kill and bad-mannered penta, and good luck in bronze.